What's up, guys? Welcome into the Ballroom Podcast. I'm your host, Rohan and I'm here with my good friend and co-host, Arav Bagwadi. Arav, how's it going?
I'm good, man. Super excited to finally launch this podcast. It's been a long time in the making. Um, Crazy slate of playing games over the last week, and now tomorrow starts the NBA playoffs. We're all super excited. It's the real deal. Everyone trying to go for the Larry O'Brien Trophy. It's gonna be super exciting.
Yep, this is episode one of the podcast. Basically giving you guys a preview of the first round, also a recap of the playing games. And then going forward, we're going to be giving you guys some good breakdown and analysis of the playoffs over the next month and a half or so. We're both huge basketball fans from the Bay, so Warriors fans. Got to rep. And yeah, basically just going to be looking into each game. And we can start with the playing games that took place, with the first one being the Nets Cavs. Nets took that game 115-108. What you think about this game?
I got two words for this game: Ramadan Kyrie. It's unbelievable that he's doing all of this perfect in the first half, during Ramadan, where he has to fast all day. So that's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Um,
Also,
so
also KD with the masterclass, dropping 21 and 11 assists. He was just dropping dimes. Like he was getting doubled, basically on every trip down, almost triple team. They got like the five-headed monsters. They got like all of them are 7 foot, and he was just dropping dimes. Kyrie was eating. Seth Curry was eating. Andre Drummond, who was eating, went crazy in the paint. Who would have thought? Um, but yeah, it was a great game. What do you think?
yeah, one thing I have to say is that it would have been interesting if Jared Allen and Colin Sexton were playing because although the Nets have all this firepower, it was still like a close game. It was a 7 point game. And I feel like if Cleveland had Allen and Sexton, two like all-star type players, they could have had like a good shot to win this game.
Yeah, but I feel like the game was pretty much a blowout for most of it. And even if Allen and Sexton were playing, like we know KD and Kyrie are bringing it home. So there's nothing
Yeah.
you could really do. You got KD, 7 foot, who can with the dribble package and pull up over anybody. So I mean, with KD, all you got to do is just pray when you're guarding him. There's nothing really you can do. But yeah, Cavs gave up a good fight. Let's look at the T Wolves Clippers games. That was 109-104. Timberwolves are what you think?
I thought first of all, Patrick Beverly. Everyone like doesn't like Pat Bev, but I mess with him. I like him. I love his energy. It brings so much energy and confidence for his teammates, for the crowd. It gets everyone hyped, gets everyone ready for the game, gets brings everyone up, gets everyone energetic. So everyone is saying that like the Timberwolves after they won the game were acting like kids, but like they're just getting their team and their crowd ready for the playoffs, and I commend Patrick Beverly for that.
Yeah.
Also Edwards, Cat had an off game. Carl Anthony Towns, he had an off game, and they still won. So that's promising too, because that shows that like Anthony Edwards and D'Angelo Russell can hold it down. If like someone like Cat is having an off game.
Yeah, I mean, Cat had like five inexcusable fouls. Like, dude was just like in the sixth foul, he basically just jumped over Paul George, acting like it wasn't a foul.
Yeah,
And then one play down on the offensive end, he just bulldozed. I don't know, I forget who it was. He just bulldozed someone. They didn't call the foul, even though it was a clear foul. Then he just bulldozed another guy. They called the offensive foul. Like, and he was pretending like he said on the sideline, he's like, they're not letting me play basketball, but like he had like five legit fouls, which just stupid fouls. Like those are inexcusable, especially in a playing game. Like he's only had like five playoff games in his career. So I don't know. I think he kind of got bailed out with D'Lo and Ant because we would be having a completely different discussion if the game went south for the T Wolves. But I think with Pat Bev, I think to an extent, like whatever his energy is really good, right? It brings everyone into the game, brings the T Wolves up, brings the crowd up. But like even like the inside guys were saying like they look like the championship was over, playoffs were over, they won. right?
Okay.
That's what it looked like from him jumping on the stands, right? Dude was crying at the end. Like they're just a 7 seed. Who knows if they're even gonna get 1 or 2 games off the Memphis Grizzlies.
Okay, but look here, in March Madness, when a team wins a game, they go crazy. So, and this is a win or go home game. In March Madness, every game is a win or go home game. So it's a win or go home game. So they have, I feel like they have the right to celebrate that they won
I
the
think
game.
celebrating, there's nothing wrong with that, right? They made the playoffs. They're not a winning franchise, right? Pat Bev obviously had big proclamations at the start of the season saying they make the playoffs. No one believed him. I think it's 100% like warranted. They can celebrate, but the thing is, Pat Bev basically made the whole thing about him, and he
That's
only dropped
true.
what
That
6
is true.
points, 7
Yeah,
points.
7 points.
It looked
That
like
is true.
he dropped 45 on his former
Yeah.
team, 10 assists, right? It looked like after the game that he was the one giving them buckets, but it was D'Lo and Ant.
Yeah, and Delos definitely should have gotten more credit. They should have gotten more publicity, if that's
No,
what
but
you want
you
to
could
call it.
tell, right? D'Lo gave the post game interview on the court, and he was like, they asked him like what he thought of the game. He's like, well, this is what we're supposed to do, right? We were the 7 seed. They were at what? They were 6 games ahead of the Clippers at the 7 seed. They were like a game out of the Nuggets, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they should have been locked in the playoffs. Like there was no question that they should have missed the playoffs. So I think it's that there's you could see the two mentalities. D'Lo had that. He obviously made the playoffs with Brooklyn like 3 years ago, but I think it should be the mentality like job's not finished, still got a lot more to go. But it's definitely, I mean, Timberwolves don't make the playoffs often, so I guess you got to take the small wins.
Beverly also took this game personal because of his history with the Clippers when he was on the Clippers.
Yeah,
he's taking a little. This is personal to him, so that's probably also a reason why he went kind of crazy at the end.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, it's your former team, so it's definitely personal.
Yeah, definitely. All right, let's go on to the third game. The Atlanta Hawks versus the Charlotte Hornets. The Hawks blew out the Hornets 132 to 103. There's nothing much to say about this game. Except that the Hornets, they just like don't they don't belong there.
It didn't look like
they didn't come ready to play.
They had no energy. It was basically just them getting ran on the offensive end. I mean, on the defensive end, no one was trying on defense. It looked like they were just walking around. Trae Young was getting buckets at will.
They also were maybe a little upset they had to walk to the arena.
That was what was that? Like I
don't know what that was.
What was that? Why did
they
the thing like
because
break
they're
down?
like their bus like wasn't working or something.
That was so stupid. I mean, if they won, that would have looked lit because then it'd been like it don't even matter. Like
no,
I don't know. Maybe the Hawks sabotage. Who knows? But either way, doesn't matter. Hornets kind of sucked. Hawks won that handedly. Spurs Pels 113-103 Spurs. What you think?
I think McCollum's 27.5, like his vet experience that he brings to the Pelicans from the Blazers really helped the team here. And his 27.5, that shows that he like still has it, and he's gonna be a big piece for the Pelicans in these playoffs.
Yeah, I mean for the Spurs, I mean DeJounte, he hadn't played the last 10-ish games. He said he lost 7 pounds, battling some illness, which is crazy. So obviously they're super young. They got a lot of young wings, which is, if you look at their wing depth, it's crazy. They have like Keldon Johnson, Lonnie Walker, who actually on Twitter was going around liking tweets saying that, Lonnie Walker only got like, I think it was 21 minutes or something. And he was going around liking tweets saying that he should get more PT. So take a look at that later on.
And their starting point guard is 19 years old, Josh Primo. So it's a really young.
Looks like he just got out of Algebra 1.
It's a really young team. So I feel like they did good this season, considering how young they are.
But I mean, like, at what point do you tank if you're the Spurs? Because like they obviously, I don't think they're ever gonna tank because they're the Spurs and they have Greg Popovich. But I guess like they know how to draft at the late lottery, so it's not too big of a deal with them. But hopefully they become competitive, eventually make the playoffs more consistently. I think DeJounte definitely needs a second star. There's just so much young talent there. but we still haven't they haven't identified who their second star is going to be.
Yeah.
Everyone just needs to take a couple of leaps, but we'll look at them next year. Hopefully, they're a lot of players have made some progress. All right, let's look at the Cavs Hawks.
Wait, I have one more question. What do you think that this could be Coach Pop's last game?
I mean, I don't see him retiring yet.
I feel like he can't go out on that either.
Yeah, I mean, well, what is he gonna go out on realistically, right?
I don't know. Maybe just maybe next time he makes the playoffs or something.
Makes the playoffs. I mean, yeah. I don't know. I
feel like it's kind of random. It's kind of random for him to retire right now. I feel like,
and it doesn't. Yeah.
He didn't have a retirement tour this year or anything, so.
Yeah, but I feel like Pop's the type of just like Tim Duncan it and kind of just like walk out. Yeah, like Tim Duncan had no farewell tour. He just walked out on us. Like he didn't really care. We haven't seen, he just dropped out of the face of the earth. Yeah. So Pop could do the same, but I feel like Pop likes coaching too much. But it's hard to say. I mean, can't really speculate that type of stuff. Yeah. Well, hopefully he's back because he's a legend.
Yeah.
But okay, let's look at Cavs Hawks.
Which happened today. It's tough to see Clint Capella go down like that. But Trae Young had a masterclass today, 32 points in the second half. And I think he's going to be he's one of the most valuable players for any team in the playoffs. If the Atlanta doesn't have him, they're nothing. So
yeah. I mean, I heard with Clint Capella, they still need to get the MRI tomorrow. There's optimism that it's not severe knee damage, which is good. But even that, I mean, Cavs, I mean, they just had a really tough end this season. I mean, they had everyone pretty much go down.
Yeah, like I said before, if only they had Jared Allen and Colin Sexton.
Yeah.
Then they could have made some noise, but it's tough to see that injuries kind of withered away their season, and yeah.
I mean, they'll definitely be back next year. I mean, they exceeded all expectations. I think to start the season, they were projected to win, I think 26 games, 27 games.
And they're such a young team. They have so much potential. They have so many years coming forward.
Yeah. I mean, they were on track to win 50 plus if they hadn't lost Jared Allen. I think after Allen got injured, they were like 4-11 or something, 5-11.
Yeah.
So I mean, they really struggled.
Yeah.
It was really tough because they solidified themselves as a top 6 team, and then they slowly slipped into the play-in. So I mean, that just shows how delicate the play-in tournament is. I mean, you can go from being a 7-8 seed and just out of the playoffs in like 2 days. So it's crazy.
Yeah.
Pelicans Clippers right after that.
Crazy Pelicans, game today. Game of swings.
Tight one, 105-101. Pels are up 15 in the first half.
Clips were up 10 after three quarters. And then Brandon Ingram with 30 points. He's looking promising for these playoffs. And then we have Pandemic P back at it again. Literally Pandemic P as he tested positive with COVID.
Dude got COVID. That's such a shame. The day of, you lose your best player. I mean, it's just
unfortunate.
Yeah, but BI apparently he believe it or not, he's never been on a winning team. This team has never had a winning record.
That's crazy.
His team has never had a winning
in the playoffs. It's good to see.
And he's never made the playoffs before. So I mean, that's just why the play-in's so great, right? You can get these guys to finally get in the playoffs for the first time. So it's good to see. CJ obviously dishing up a masterclass again. He's like the perfect secondary option for their team. And hopefully when Zion comes back, they're gonna be making some big strides. But let's look into the first round matchups now.
Let's look into the Western Conference first. Let's see the 1-8 matchup between the Phoenix Suns and the New Orleans Pelicans. Rohan, what are your predictions for this series?
I think Suns in 5, gentlemen sweep. I mean, Suns are just they by far the best team in the league. 64 wins. They had a top 5 offense and defense rating, which is points per 100 possession. They were 3rd in defense, 5th in offense, and they've just been dominant all year. I mean, even without CP, Book was handling point guard responsibilities. Dude was dropping 30 and dishing 10 assists like effortlessly. Definitely should be up there in the MVP conversation. Definitely top 5. But yeah, I mean, and CP and Book in the playoffs, like we saw last year, like they're so clutch. Like they can close any game for you. When it's tight in the fourth quarter, Suns execute better than anyone. And that's in large part due to Monty Williams. Monty Williams has just he's been one of the big reasons, him and CP, why they've just completely turned around the Suns the last 2 years. And out of nowhere, but it crushed a 60-win season, which no one thought coming off a finals run. They got Cam Johnson, and who's a most improved candidate this year. He's up to 42.5% from 3, which is almost 8% from last year. He shot 35% last year. They just got so much depth. They got Mikal Bridges, who's DPOY candidate, just 3-and-D guy. Just it hasn't missed a game.
Dog.
Hasn't missed a game in 4 years, 4 seasons. He's never missed a game in his NBA career.
Or college. Or college career.
So I think that's 7 years.
Crazy. Yeah,
he hasn't missed a game. Like, and then you have such steady players off the bench. You got Campaign. He's a great second backup point guard. Their depth is crazy. They got JaVale McGee, who's
Jay
underrated.
Crowder. They have Crowder.
Jay Crowder. Too. Yeah. I mean, they're probably the most well-rounded team. So
and they have a lot of veterans, so they have experience too. Crowder's been in the playoffs so many years in a row. He was just in the finals with the Heat.
Yeah. They're built to make a deep run this year. Yeah. I mean, anything short of that would be like so disappointing for them.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah. Well, what do you think? What's your prediction? What's your prediction? What you thinking?
I'm kind of agreeing with you. I'd say the Suns would sweep 4-0. For pretty much the same reasoning as you. They're definitely the more experienced team. As they went to the finals last year, they have Chris Paul and Devin Booker. Chris Paul's hungry for a ring, as he's never won one before. Devin Booker, MVP he's an MVP candidate, definitely. Chris Paul can also be considered an MVP race. Since they lost last year against Milwaukee, they're in the finals. They're super hungry. They're definitely super hungry this year to win. So yeah, I'd say they're gonna. I'd predict them to sweep New Orleans, but the Pelicans, they could be surprising. As they had a super impressive play-in showing, and Willie Green has done an outstanding job with bringing the team together. CJ McCollum has that veteran leadership to the team, and New Orleans also has like a secondary shot maker now in CJ after Brandon Ingram, and all this Zion stuff is pretty interesting too. With his injury and the disagreements with if he's healthy or not. What do you think about that?
How is he gonna be like? It's basically just taunting all the fans now. Basically, he's doing like through the legs 360
dunks, posting them on his Instagram stories. But he looks good to go, in my opinion. He probably thinks he's good to go too. That's why he's posting all this. But I think they should bring him. I think they should bring him back.
Yeah, but we saw that in his first year. Like they held him out for I think like 60 games or 50 games. Like they're obviously super cautious with them, which I guess it makes sense. But like, come on, like eventually you got to play the guy.
Yeah, you got to play you got to play the number 1 overall pick in the draft, who was also an all-star starter when he was playing. So
yeah, I think Pels, like in general, like just making the playoffs is just it's ridiculous.
After starting 1-12,
they started 1-12. Like we thought they were on pace to I think be the worst team in NBA history, or something like that, which is insane. Like they had no business even being competitive. But obviously we saw over time, like Willie Green, like he never strayed away from what he was supposed to. Like the way he coached and stuff, like kept everyone on board. Just kept the train going. Also Herb Jones, what a steal. Dude is
from Alabama.
Dude is clamping everyone left and right. He should definitely be in an all defensive team, because I mean he's putting everyone through. Just anybody he guards, they're not scoring. Like he's got like an insane wingspan. He looks like He's so long, but
Yeah,
he
Trey
can pretty
Murphy
much guard
looking
anyone.
super good too.
Yeah, they're rookies. They did a really nice job with the rookie class.
Yeah, definitely.
They got a lot of Jose Alvarado.
Jose Alvarado. Do you
Dude,
think the Suns are gonna fall for any of his antics, his
where is
inbound
he gonna
antics?
is he gonna hide with like the
Yeah,
gorilla in the corner?
he's gonna hide with the gorilla in the corner. He's gonna hide in the very deep corner, and then once CP3 gets the ball, he's just gonna take it from him and then
Nah, I
dunk
think
it.
CP is way too
Yeah,
smart for
he's
that,
smart.
bro.
If Book gets the
Dude,
ball, then he's gonna take it from him.
his IQ is through the
Nah,
charts.
Campaign is definitely gonna get it
Oh, his
stolen from him.
campaign's definitely gonna fall for that. Dude, he just seems like it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Pels are good. It should be. Hopefully, they make some games entertaining, but Suns should be able to handle it pretty easily.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. All right.
All right.
Let's move on to the next series. We got the 2-7 series in the West, the Memphis Grizzlies versus the Minnesota Timberwolves. I think this is going to be a really exciting series. But
I think
my buddy
this is where
Rohan here would like to
disagree. This is
disagree.
where we disagree. I got the Grizzlies in 6. I mean, obviously Timberwolves are gonna put up a fight, but Grizzlies this year, I mean, they exceeded, I think, every expectation from last year after being the 8th seed. I mean, no one saw them making the leap to being a top 2 team in the league record wise. They won 56 games. They were 4th in offense, 6th in defense. They have an MVP candidate, a DPOY candidate, a most improved candidate, and a coach of the year candidate, all in the same team.
Yeah.
I mean, with Ja, hopefully he's good to go because he obviously missed the last 10 games or so with his.
No, he's good. I think he's
with
good.
his knee injury, but he should be ready to go. So we'll see how he looks. Obviously JJJ took the biggest leap, I think, out of anyone in terms of defense, leading the league in blocks. You got Desmond Bane, who's just a beast. He's averaging like 18. Miss. He doesn't. He's like, and he's locking up people on defense too. And he's averaging like a cool 18 points. Taylor Jenkins, who's just been coaching up a masterclass for them, even without Ja, with their like 20-3 or some 20-2, something crazy.
Yeah. Something they look like 21-2. Yeah,
it makes no sense. And then Ja, everyone's making fun of them, thinking they're better without Ja. And then Ja comes back.
No, Ja's gonna make them way better.
No. I think. Oh yeah, he came back, right? Remember they played.
He came back.
They played. Did they play the Timberwolves or the Pelicans? I think.
I'm not sure who they played.
They scored 55 and a quarter, which is a franchise.
Oh yeah,
record.
They went insane. Yeah,
they went insane.
Like, I think it was the Pelicans. Yeah,
I think it was They just. I mean, their full
that team
squad
is crazy.
And then I mean, but like going against the Timberwolves, I think it's a great matchup for them because I mean they have really Steven Adams. They have Steven Adams and JJJ for the inside to lock up Cat. I think Cat's gonna have he's gonna be put through some tough times with them. Adams is a beast. JJJ's best rim protector in the league, arguably. And then for D'Lo and Ant, they're gonna be locked up by Dylan Brooks and Desmond Bane. Like Memphis just they have everything. Like they can do everything. They can shoot. They have top 5 offense, 4th offense. They have defenders. They have dogs. Like they're hungry, and I think they're gonna come out and take them down. What do you think?
I want to take the unpopular prediction here. I like the Timberwolves in 7.
Actually, no. Actually, Shaq and Chuck both think Timberwolves are gonna win.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Actually, yeah. A lot of people I know want the Timberwolves are taking the Timberwolves to win too, just because of their playing game versus the Clippers. I think, and Pat Bev's energy. I think this whole team just seems super hungry. And I feel like they're already in like playoff mode after the play-in game. You see how their crowd was, their players were, the energy they had. Also, the fact that Memphis hasn't played in like a week, they could be a little rusty. Especially like Ja coming back. He missed a lot of games. He came back, played a few games, and now he's taking another week off before playing another game. They could be a little rusty. And Minnesota just seems really hungry. Edwards, he's like becoming a top player in the league. D'Lo, top player in the league. Cat,
Yeah.
The only issue is Cat. I feel like Rohan, you're right. He could have a tough time with Adams and Jaren Jackson, um, in the paint. So that's something to look out for. He could
Yeah.
definitely have a tough time down there.
I think the way
Beverly's gonna. I feel like Beverly could get under some of the Grizzlies players' skins.
yeah, he's definitely gonna give Ja hell. Like
Yeah,
he's definitely gonna be number one assignment on Ja. But I think the way the Timberwolves become dangerous is if D'Lo, Cat, and Ant all click in the same
definitely.
game.
Oh,
Like
definitely. Otherwise,
because
I feel like they don't have a chance. They
because
have to play really well.
yeah,
They
because they
gotta.
need all three of them to be there, basically the scoring punch for them,
Also,
basically.
the thing is with Memphis, they haven't like proven anything in the playoffs yet. So
Well, I feel like neither team has, right? Obviously, like
neither team has. Yeah, that's
this is
true.
basically just like the battle of the young teams. Like it's
Exactly. Yeah.
they're I mean they're both super
Also,
young, both super hungry.
they went to they split the season series, right?
I think so. 2-2, right?
Didn't Minnesota they beat them last time, right? Didn't they blow them
Minnesota.
out?
Yeah, they might have. I think you're right. But I think
They blew them
that
out
was
once.
without Jaw, I think.
Uh,
So but I mean we'll see. We'll see how the playoff intensity sort of
yeah,
changes how
it's
they
gonna be
play.
intense. It's gonna be a physical series. It's gonna be a good one.
Because both are really high scoring teams,
Mhm.
probably top 5 scoring teams in the league. So we'll see how sort of the playoff defense slows them down and see
Yeah,
how they adapt to it as well. But
I'm super excited for this series, man.
I'm excited for it. I don't think it's gonna catch me or captivate me as much as the other series, just because it doesn't have that star power that some of the other series have. Like you don't have your KDs or
But
you don't have Steph.
I think it's gonna be exciting. John
But I
Morant's
think it's
such
just
an
gonna
exciting
be
player. Edwards is an exciting player. Ant is
yeah.
so exciting to
Because I
watch.
think you're
He's so
seeing
fun to watch.
two of like the top teams in the West going forward, pretty much playing right now, like as they're super young. So
Yeah, definitely.
yeah, this will be fun. It'll be fun,
It'll
definitely.
be fun, definitely.
All right, let's look at the next series. The 3-seeded Warriors versus the
My
6-seeded
Warriors,
Nuggets. Our
our Warriors.
Warriors. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious.
They
Warriors in
got that
6.
championship DNA.
I got the Warriors in 6. What are you thinking?
I got the same. I got the Warriors in 6 too. I agree.
Warriors in
I
6.
100% agree with you. The Warriors they have that championship DNA with Steph, Clay, and Draymond. They're all back together. Hopefully, no injuries happen. Let's pray. But they're all back.
They've only
They've only
played
played
like
11
11
minutes together.
minutes. That's
But
crazy.
they're all back. Steph is they say Steph is ready to he should be able to play game 1.
He'll be on a
game 1.
minutes restriction though,
That's fine.
which is fine.
That's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
Jordan Poole, he's basically like another MVP. He's raw. He's insane.
We have a Steph Curry when Steph
We have
Curry
Steph
goes
Curry
out.
2.0 as our backup point guard.
Facts.
So yeah, with five finals in a row, 3 championships, this team is wired for this.
Yeah. I mean, they're a championship team, right? They brought on the veteran role players that we didn't have last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
We got Otto Porter, who actually pretty much just became he changed positions essentially. Now he's like a stretch big. He's been averaging like I think 7 or 8 rebounds. We have Bielitsa, who fits the system perfectly,
and GP2.
GP2, who
GP2.
I don't even know
so
how
good.
At the beginning of the season, we didn't even
know.
Yeah,
we were like, why did we drop Avery Bradley for GP2? And now we're
I'm so
God.
glad. See, that's why the front office knows more than us.
Yeah, genius.
We just got to trust the front office. Bob Myers knows what he's doing. But yeah, we got GP2 clamp everyone. Bielitsa.
And dunk on everyone too.
Yeah, he's the little big man, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bielitsa, just perfect combination of shooting and passing as a stretch big. We got Iggy back on the squad, who just brings that sort of the championship DNA back. He'll give us probably like a good 15 minutes a game, but he'll be
and his IQ is off the roof.
Hopefully he closes our games too, because when it gets tough and when it's
he knows what to do.
He'll get you that timely strip and seal the game with defense, which is underrated. I think the only issue, the biggest issue,
is Jokic on Looney.
Dude, it's such a mismatch.
Jokic is gonna dominate.
We don't have
Looney's kind of being a beast.
I feel like
recently.
Actually, in the games, the the Nuggets played the Warriors, I feel like Looney's kind of held his own for the most part.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't think that wasn't the case like a year ago or 2 years ago.
He's definitely improved a lot.
He's definitely improved, but like we don't
over
have
the
any
season.
Yeah, but we don't have any depth. That's the issue, right? It's basically just Looney. It's just Looney and no one else. We don't have Wiseman. I think the only way we could pick up that slack is if Draymond or Wiggs moves into the paint.
It's gonna be hard for them to guard Jokic.
I think the way to do it is you just blitz Jokic every time down the floor. Like anytime he gets the ball, just throw two people at him and just get the ball.
Make him give it up. Make him give it up.
But the issue is he's probably he's a top 3 passer in the league.
Yeah, he's gonna find someone he's gonna make someone cut, someone do someone insane cut, do some crazy pass, and they'll score. So it's gonna be difficult. They have to develop a good and smart game plan. Steve Kerr's got that down, probably. Hopefully,
we'll see. I mean, but Jokic, you can't say enough how much
I feel like
he's definitely. Obviously top 2, top 3 MVP candidate.
Top 1. He's top 1.
Is he top 1?
Yeah. The NBA. Have you seen the NBA Instagram account just posted?
Yeah, but is he your MVP?
Is he my MVP?
Yeah, is he your MVP?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay,
Is he your MVP?
I don't know how do you pick between Jokic, Embiid, and Giannis? How do you pick?
I'd say Jokic or Giannis.
Is higher than him?
Jokic or Giannis.
Jokic or Giannis. Well, how do you leave Embiid out?
I don't know, man. It's tough. It's really tough.
What's the criteria, right? Because if one of them was the 1 seed, then it's obvious. But Bucks are the 3 seed.
Bucks are the Sixers are 4 and Nuggets are 6. So,
but the thing is, Denver maybe 6, but they're only a game behind the Sixers.
Yeah, the West is so tight.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I'm glad I don't have a vote.
Also, the East is really tight too. It's a 3-way tie.
Is it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
No, I'm pretty sure. Who's 3? Bucks are, right?
Yeah.
Bucks and Sixers are tied at 3 and 4, and then Boston's 1 game ahead, or half a game ahead. Yeah. Boston had 51 wins and they had 50 wins. But yeah. Anyway, but I feel like with Denver, it's just they don't have any other scoring outside of Jokic.
If Jokic, just get him tired. Get him on the bench. Make him foul.
Who's he gonna? He doesn't have to defend anymore.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's not gonna get in foul trouble. They just need to
make Looney super aggressive.
He has no offense. We know that. Unless we just drive in the paint. But
that's what I'm saying.
But we have Poole, Thompson, and Steph.
Make Jokic switch onto them.
Maybe that could work. But I feel I don't know. Their secondary scorer is Aaron Gordon.
Aaron Gordon, yeah. MPJ
out. Monte Morris.
Imagine they had Murray, bro. We'd be kind of screwed. Morris, he had a game winner on us the 2 games ago when we played it.
Was that the game where we were it was the
we were up 7,
86?
We were up 7. We were with a minute left and we
that
lost.
Was the last one. Oh my god.
No, it was 2 games ago, I'm pretty sure.
That was the second to last time we played them.
Yeah.
I think that was the worst game of the season.
It was so bad.
No. Either that or the time we played them before. I think it was in December.
Yeah, Denver. We've had some depressing games against them. Hopefully that's not the case here.
Hopefully that's not the case. We just gotta pray.
Yeah.
That game was 89-86, I think.
Yeah, but Clay has been going off recently, so hopefully he can keep that up. Yeah.
If he just needs to be a consistent 20, 25 a game, because if he's going from 38 to 14 and some games he'll just shoot random shots, he'll shoot 25 shots.
His shot selection needs to be good.
Yeah, especially with
it's kind of suspect sometimes.
It's definitely very suspect sometimes. But I think because now he has to share shots with Poole and Curry, they definitely gotta be a little bit more unselfish. But obviously we know the Warriors, they're always unselfish. It's all about getting it done. All right, let's move on to the Mavs Jazz 4-5 matchup. What are you looking at in this one?
I'd say It's all depending. The series like depends on Doncic's injury. With his calf strain in the last game the Mavericks had against the Spurs. If he's back like around like game 2 or maybe even 3, he's definitely missing game 1. But like if he's back, then I'd say the Mavericks could win 4-2. Um, but it just all depends on his injury. I feel like. Do you
Yeah.
agree with that?
I think you can scratch him out for the first 2 games. I think they already
Hmm.
said he's going to be out. So I think best case scenario, like Mavs split it 1-1, right?
Hmm.
They at least keep half of their home court. And if Luka is back in game 3, I think they'll be able to pull it out in maybe 6 or 7. I think it really
Yeah.
depends on if Luka's back like by game 3 or game 4. Because if he's out till game 4, Jazz could be up 2-1, even 3-0. So I mean the
Yeah,
series,
for sure.
it's just hanging. It's really hard to predict right now.
Yeah,
Because
for
Mavs,
sure.
the whole fate of their team is just in
It's
Luka's
just on
hands.
Luka's injury. Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
and it really sucks because they've been after the Kristaps trade, which I don't think anybody thought it was like a home run trade. Like I was definitely skeptical of it, right? They were giving up their secondary star who we thought was going to help Luka in the playoffs, which he did in the bubble against the Clippers, right? He was averaging like 25. But like we thought Dinwiddie was washed. We obviously Bertans has been a no-show since he signed his contract. But now we see how Dinwiddie is like opening up the entire court for Luka. Now we have space to operate. He can drive in and kick out. He's got Jalen Brunson, who's
Dorian
just been
Finney-Smith.
Dorian Finney-Smith, who's fun fact, he's the only player in NBA history to increase his points per game and 3-point percentage in 5 consecutive
5
seasons.
seasons. Yeah.
There's just that's crazy.
Crazy.
How
That's
has that never
insane.
happened?
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
I've always like he's just like the
I've always
perfect
liked him.
three.
Yeah.
He's the
Every time
perfect
we
3-and-D player.
no, every time we play against him, whenever he shoots, I'm like
It looks like he's going in. It's
it
like
always looks like he's
it's
gonna
just
make
like
it.
Jay
I'm like,
Crowder,
don't
right?
don't let this dude shoot. Yeah, Jay Crowder also he
Jay
makes it.
Crowder never. I don't think he's ever missed in his life.
Yeah, same with Dorian Finney-Smith.
Yeah, but
I
Jalen
it,
Brunson,
the
I think.
the mhm.
Go ahead.
No, you go.
I think Jalen Brunson's like the most underrated player.
He's so
I
good.
think maybe one of the most underrated players in the league. Like he just every night 15 and 5. Like you can just count
Dude,
on it.
Villanova breeds those type of players, Bridges and Brunson.
Yeah, but you can see like they're 3-4 year college players, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that's what's kind of they obviously have had time to develop into their own. But
Yeah, yeah. It's tough for the Mavericks could have been like way more excited, like way like if they had imagine they had Tim Hardaway Jr., that would have been huge for Dallas as well, like because he's a big piece for the team.
yeah, I mean for sure, because he gives them a good 15, 20 point. He could
Yeah, he's
obviously
huge for the team.
he can in some games explode for 30, right?
Hmm.
Which
Yeah,
helps Luka, right? He needs a second star, but yeah, he's. I mean, I think they're able to
they've
pick
had
up
they've
that
had a
scoring.
sufficient amount of time without him, and I think
Yeah,
they've gotten
they've looked good. I think for the Jazz, I mean, if they lose this series and
they might have to go into rebuild mode
I
because
think yeah, you blow it up. You got to blow it up.
yeah, the last 3 postseasons have been so disappointing. They've only won one playoff series, which was last year against Memphis, who was an 8 seed, and the Jazz were 1 seed. So if they lost that, that would have been like terrible for them.
Yeah,
And we haven't seen Mitchell and Rudy Gobert be successful in the playoffs, like go really deep.
yeah.
Mitchell needs like some second reliable scorer, like a good scorer. He can't have like Bogdanovich as his
It's
second
like
scorer.
yeah, because Bogdanovich will like he drops 20 and then he'll drop like
Sometimes
10
he'll drop
points.
30, but like
Yeah.
he not that he'll do it like
Also,
every once in a while.
I think the Mike Conley trade, right? That was like a win now trade, right? They gave up like I think 2 first-round picks. They gave up Grayson Allen, Jay Crowder, right? They put a lot
Mhm.
into Mike Conley. I think he's only been averaging like I think 12 or 13 and like 5
Yeah.
assists. but like that was supposed to be their third star. That was supposed to be their big three right
Exactly.
there.
Yeah, yeah.
And
And it
he's
just like
aging.
hasn't.
It's just he's aging, right? He's not
He's
on the same
aging. Yeah,
timeline as
exactly.
Donovan Mitchell. They don't
He's
work well
he is
together.
not the same Mike Conley as he was on Memphis.
Yeah, that's what goes without saying, I think.
With age.
Um,
Yeah. But they
but
kind of they expected him to be like that.
yeah, exactly. I mean, because
Um,
this team was built to win a championship. Like, I think as soon as they saw what happened, like what Donovan was doing in his first year, like they were like, he's ready. But
mhm,
like, it never seemed like their team clicked.
mhm.
They just never had that like bona fide second star with
They
Donovan.
seemed really solid last year, but then obviously they were really
And
disappointing,
obviously that has a lot to do with Gobert, right?
getting exposed by Terrence Mann
He got
against the
absolutely
Clippers.
exposed.
Yeah,
He was put in every pick and roll drop coverage. He was just
yeah,
standing in the paint. They would kick out to Terrence Mann.
yeah.
It was a three, or they were dunking or just
You
driving on
you
him
you put Gobert on a point guard, he will get exposed. Like Steph put him in a
in a
blender that one
put him in
time
a blender.
in that playoff game. Like you
That
put him on a
happens.
point guard, he's the opposite of a decoy.
I mean, he might get his third this year. Who
No,
knows?
Marcus
Or
Smart is
fourth.
winning
His
that.
fourth.
Marcus
Or
Smart is
Mikhail.
winning that.
Mikhail. Bridges is definitely.
Or Marcus.
I think it's either between them two. But I think that probably has to do with some voter fatigue. But I mean,
Yeah,
he
yeah,
is like
definitely.
he's by far the best rim protector in the league. It doesn't really. It's just does that translate into winning playoff series? That's what we haven't seen yet. Like it's
It's just
good.
I don't think it's his issue though. It's just that the Jazz don't have a secondary scorer.
No, but also like you need to go small ball in the set in the postseason, right? If
That's
you have
facts.
a
Yeah.
big who's 7 foot who can't move out of the paint, it's so easy because you're basically
They'll
playing. They're playing
they'll get
5-on-4.
exposed.
The
They'll get
Clippers are playing
exposed.
or
Yeah.
whatever. The Mavs are going to be playing 5-on-4. Any team who
Exactly. Yeah.
plays them is playing 5-on-4.
Mhm.
So they need a small ball, basically a small ball five, in order for them to be successful. That's what Ty Lue exposed them last year of. So I mean, I think the Mavs are a good matchup in that sense because they have Dwight Powell, who's like one of the best small ball fives. But he's like 6'8", 6'9", but he's just
Yeah.
can move around like a
And
wing.
so
He's
athletic.
athletic, right?
Crazy
He can
athletic.
get around everywhere. I think he could step out for a three once or
Mhm.
twice a game, so that could pull Gobert out of the paint a little bit.
They have they definitely
I
have all
think
the
I
tools.
think the Mavs, even without Luka, they can give the Jazz a run for their money. Because I mean,
I agree.
the Jazz, even at the end of the season, you could see like they were crumbling, right?
Yeah.
They were dropping like. I think they played the Clippers. They lost. They blew a 25-point lead
They
or
blew a
something.
19-point lead against the Warriors.
Exactly.
And then
This
we
was all
beat
in the
them by like
same week.
14.
This
Yeah.
is like all in the same week, right? So
Yeah.
you could see like as the season was like winding down, like they weren't peaking. They were actually like going
They
down.
seem like they're on a downward slope.
And you could see Donovan Mitchell is like he's pretty much disengaged with the team.
Yeah.
We'll see. I mean, obviously winning cures everything, right? If they can win, I think all of it goes out the window. But if they lose, I think we'll be probably seeing the end of Gobert and Mitchell and probably the whole Jazz nucleus as we see it right now. So I think
agree.
this season this series holds a lot of weight for the Jazz.
There's a lot.
Mavericks.
There's definitely a lot of pressure on this team.
But for the Mavericks, I don't think there's as much pressure. Like you
No.
basically just reconstructed your roster mid-season.
They're
right?
still a young team too.
You have so much cap space to work with. You still are building around Luka. Like
They're
they
still
have
trying to figure things out. Yeah.
They have a clear blueprint of how to become a championship team. They have once you have your centerpiece, everything else will come into place. So
yeah, exactly.
They're in a good position. All right, let's move into the Eastern Conference, shall we?
Yeah, we got some exciting matchups in the East. So first, let's start with the 1-8 matchup between the Miami Heat and the Atlanta Hawks. Rohan, what do you think about this? I think it's gonna be a good series.
I think it's gonna be a very good series.
The Heat are definitely like a really quiet 1 seed, and I feel like they may be a little overrated.
I think the Heat are built for the playoffs. I think we can't judge the Heat based on the regular season, right? Because once the game slows down, I feel like that's what they were built for, right?
Yeah. I mean, they did go to the finals 2 years ago. So.
Exactly. And you add Kyle Lowry, who's like won a championship.
He
knows what it's like they have playoff guys. PJ Tucker, who just won a championship last year.
Mhm. But got
Most of
owned
the
by Golden State every time he was on the Rockets. So
that wasn't his fault. That was James Harden
yeah.
just crumbles under pressure every time. Um, but yeah, I mean, when Jimmy, Bam, and Kyle play together, they're 24-10, on pace for 58 wins. So obviously their nucleus is really strong. It's just, do they have that closer, that scoring punch, that top 5 player who can bring the series home, bring the game home? I think that's the biggest question mark for them. They're a top 5 defense. They're 4th in defense. Obviously they have an insane starting 5 with defense. But they're 12th in offense, and they don't have that guy who can just get you that bucket. They have Tyler Hero, but can you rely on him in the playoffs? We don't know.
Yeah.
Obviously Jimmy, he can get a bucket, but like you need a guy who can go down consistently, and get you, even if you have no offense going that game, get you 40. We saw it in the bubble, but we haven't really seen it since.
I think it could definitely happen here.
I think, but in general, like Hawks could make it interesting.
They
right?
could make it interesting. They went to the Eastern Conference Finals last year. They beat Philly. They're definitely a good team. They have Trae Young, one of the best players in the league, and they could definitely upset the 1 seed Heat. However, Clint Capella's injury could be massive. Since if he's out, Bam is just gonna feed in the paint. He's just gonna go crazy.
Yeah, I mean the Hawks they don't really have a backup center like Okongwu.
Yeah,
who's 6'9", and he's a 2nd-year center.
Yeah,
they don't have John Collins, right? John Collins.
That's a big issue. John Collins is huge for the team. So
yeah, but I think they've gotten a lot of scoring from Bogdanovic and Gallinari.
Yeah, they're really good. They're really good role players. And
I don't know. I think it's super rare to have a 1-8 series where the 8 seed has the best player. I think where the 8 series has the best player in the series.
Yeah, Trae Young is definitely the best player in the series. Yeah,
right. Trae is probably gonna average 30, 35, 10 assists. Right. He can easily carry this.
They just need to figure out their other scoring, and Capella. They need to figure out if Capella is not playing, then how are they gonna guard? How are they gonna contain Bam?
Yeah. I think I think Trae Young could easily carry this team to like 2 wins, 3 wins in the series. He just needs like 2 or 3 guys to come along with him in each game.
He needs Bogdanovic and Gallinari to
also DeAndre Hunter.
Hunter, yeah.
Hunter is huge for them. They've got depth, they've got scores. They just need to be able to have that sort of
consistency throughout all the games as well.
Exactly. Yeah. Trae needs that help.
I feel like they could definitely do it like once or twice, but in order to beat the 1 seed Heat, they need to do it every game.
Yeah. I think I mean Capella, people are saying that his injury, he could be back in the series. He's gonna get an MRI tomorrow. So we'll see how he looks.
Prayers up. Let's hope.
Yeah, for sure.
Hope it's nothing serious.
Because he could easily make them like a real threat. But I still think this series is up in the air. I think this is like based on like what we've seen in the regular season. But if the Heat are what we think they are in terms of a playoff team, they could easily make this up a 5-game series.
Easily, yeah. If we see like a similar Heat to what we saw 2 years ago, running through the Eastern Conference, then it could be a 5-game series at 5 or 6 at max.
Yeah. I mean, the Heat they have everything really. They have shooting, right? They have defense. They have a big guy down low who can just dominate in the paint. They have a couple bucket getters, Tyler Hero and Jimmy. I think Jimmy needs to like really turn up into bubble Jimmy.
Facts, yeah.
Because bubble Jimmy
that's how they're gonna get to the finals.
He was a top 10 player, like
he was a dog. He was crazy,
like a 40-point triple double in the finals.
Exactly. Like, yeah, he went crazy. He was so good. He was determined. He needs to have that same hunger. Yeah, honestly, just trap him in the bubble. I think they're gonna win it all. Yeah, Jimmy's just find a way to get him back in a bubble, and they're about to win the whole thing. Yeah, with Rachel Nichols.
All right, bro. All right, bro. All right, bro. All right. Let's look at Celtics Nets. The 2-7 matchup, but you can throw the numbers out the window because they're basically neck and neck.
Yeah, the Nets are
what are
like
you looking at in this series?
seeded 7. I think although the Nets are the 7 seed, they obviously they're the Nets. They have Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving. They could definitely win this series. I think they could take the series in 6 games. They got two of the best players of all time. Two of the most skilled basketball players of all time, Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. Also, if we see Ben Simmons back, it says that he could return game 4. If we see him back, that could make an impact, but it could also make a negative impact. So we don't know. Since Simmons is like, he's never played a game with Brooklyn, it would be interesting to see how the Nets will fit him into everything, right?
Yeah. What does he
So
do?
we don't
Like
know.
when he comes back, like is he just gonna like be like the Bruce Brown of the team? Just like get rebounds and run and
Get
then like
rebounds and pass to Kyrie and KD.
that's
I
such a
don't
lit
know.
job. What a
I
job.
know.
I'm
Yeah,
trying to just
he'd have a
I'm
good
trying to
job.
get paid
Yeah.
150 mil to just run down the court and pass it to KD and Kyrie.
Yeah.
That just seems lit. But like yeah, I don't know. I don't know how do you fit him into the team? I mean, I
That's
guess
good.
it's
That's the question that's up there. Like, how is he gonna fit into the
but I
team? It
think
could have a
also like the thing is
negative
like
impact of him
since
coming in
he doesn't do
in the
much
playoffs.
offensively, right? He's not a big offensive guy. You need to like he's not like a James Harden where you need to figure out how he's gonna get his shots up or his touches, right? You can just plug him in. All he needs to do is just move the ball. So in that sense, he's actually probably might be pretty easy to integrate into the team, and he's one of the best perimeter defenders in the league. So I mean,
Definitely, yeah.
I don't actually see a way where it's like that negative of an impact.
Yeah, definitely. The only issue is him, like, fitting into the team and like,
Yeah, like as long as it doesn't disrupt like the mojo of the
yeah,
team, right?
exactly. Yeah,
But
yeah.
it looks as like from the outside that everything's
I
going
think
pretty
everything's
smooth.
good. Yeah.
I think with the
Boston,
Celtics, like they kind of got screwed. But
I
I would say
they could definitely win
I
this
think they can.
series.
This
Yeah.
is a 50. I think it's a 50-50. This is the
They're the
closest
best. They're
series.
the
Like this,
best defensive team in the league, 9th in offense, which is really solid.
yeah,
Since January 10th, they're 32-10. So they're like the hottest team in the league right now.
yeah,
But the issue is Robert Williams is out, so they don't have that much. They don't have as good of rim protection, right?
yeah,
He has a chance to return this series though. So
yeah. I don't know, but I think they do have some decent supplements. They have Tyson Horford who can hold it down until he comes back. Um, I think Horford coming back to the team was huge. He brought
yeah,
back some of those Eastern Conference Finals teams with the
facts.
those younger teams that went against the Cavs. So yeah, that's huge because they didn't really have that sort of veteran presence like the last couple of years, which is kind of I think a big
Yeah,
reason why
exactly,
they have
exactly. He's a
underperformed.
big, huge veteran presence.
Yeah, he's been there
Along with Tatum
before.
and Brown,
Yeah,
then, um, it'll be the Celtics definitely have all the tools to beat the Nets here.
I think Tatum and Brown. There's a lot
They
of they have a lot of offensive load on their
they have a
shoulders.
lot of things to do. Like they have to play their A game every game against Brooklyn.
They both need to average 30, I think. Right.
What was the score in the series last year when they played?
It
3-1,
was
4-1, right?
4-1. They
Yeah,
got ran. The only game
yeah.
they won was Tatum, who dropped 50. But Jalen Brown was out. He was out that series.
That's true. That's true.
And it was the KD Kyrie Harden Nets. So it's a different team. That was probably like could have been the greatest team of all time, but didn't last very long. Only lasted one
KD's
series.
shoe size was too big.
Nah, that was literally like the Celtics team, like the Celtics series Nets and the Bucks series Nets were two completely different teams.
Yeah.
It went from the greatest.
They're such a good team though.
The Bucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bucks are nice.
Do you want to move on to the next series?
Yeah, let's look at Bucks Bulls. It's a good segue.
I think, yeah. Rohan and I both think that the Bucks are gonna win pretty easily 4-1.
I think
A gentleman's sweep.
it's a wipe. Yeah.
we have Giannis, Middleton and Holiday. I feel like they'd just be like way too much for Chicago, especially with Lonzo Ball out. So they don't have Chicago wouldn't have any like as good of defense or 3-point shooting without Lonzo Ball, right? Um,
Yeah.
the Bucks are the defending champions, obviously, so they they consistently go deep in the playoffs as well. So they're like wired for this. They're wired for
Yeah.
this time of year. They're ready. They know how to play. And this time of year, Chicago hasn't like been to the playoffs in a hot minute with
Yeah.
especially with these guys. This is their first season with all these guys. So
Yeah. I mean, I think the Bucks for the most part were just cruising in the regular season.
Mhm.
It pretty much looked like that. They were taking it easy. Pretty much the same approach they took last year, right? They're kind of waiting for the playoffs. All three of them, the big three.
Yeah.
And I still think they're definitely the team to beat, right? They're the defending Eastern Conference champs. So I think anyone who has to go through the Eastern Conference has to go through the Bucks.
Yeah.
So I
They're a
think
dangerous team.
I mean when
They
Giannis, Middleton, and Holiday play, like I
they
think
have
they're
they
the
have
best team
one
in
of
the
the best
East.
chances to go through the East. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, definitely. They're probably, I would say, probably the favorite to win the East.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
for the Bulls, I mean, what a great start to the season. They were the one
Mhm.
seed, I think,
Then they had
close to
some
that.
injuries, and then
Yeah,
then they had that one. They've been sliding a little bit. They've had that one
yeah,
slide, which is they got blown out like 4 times in a row, like at home,
yeah.
or three
Never,
times in a row.
never, never forget the back-to-back game winners from DeMar.
Oh yeah,
Legendary,
that was legendary.
legendary.
I need to get a
We
jersey,
need
a
we
DeMar
need the
jersey,
DeMar jersey, bro. We were
dude.
DMing each other. We
Yeah,
said we both need the DeMar jersey.
that was so
Like
hype, bro.
that was crazy. Like I think I still might get one. Like
Yeah, he's one of my favorite
that,
players,
like he
DeRozan.
just there's no one doing it like him right now, other than like maybe
Yeah.
KD. Like
Mhm.
he is the mid range maestro, as they call it.
Yeah.
But
The issue for Chicago is that Levine has been kind of had this knee injury all year, so he hasn't
yeah,
had like the same impact. His scoring is decreased from 27.4 points per game to 24.4. So they they also
I think
don't
obviously that probably has to do with DeRozan sort of taking the reins of the team. It used to
oh
be
definitely,
Levine's
yeah.
team, right? He was
Mhm.
the pretty much the only scorer, or the primary scorer, but now it's pretty much DeRozan's team, which I was actually quite surprised with because I thought like going into the season, it was gonna be Levine's team, right?
Mhm.
Because he was obviously younger. We didn't see this type of DeMar the last couple of seasons. Um, but yeah, just in general, like no Lonzo, like they lose out on a lot of 3-and-D there.
Yeah.
Lonzo's been shooting what 42% from three this year.
Yeah,
Um,
42.3.
also just if just every game, like it's they don't really have much scoring outside of DeRozan, Levine, and Vucevic.
Yeah,
At least
exactly.
consistent scoring. Like you can get
Mhm.
12 from DeSumo, Io, or you can get
Mhm.
12 from Kobe White,
Mhm.
Patrick
But
Williams.
that's just like not enough, especially against the
Not
Bucks.
yeah, like it's not because there's no consistent double digit score for them other than
Exactly,
those
yeah.
three.
Mhm.
Lonzo could have offered that. Um, they still have Caruso, who's gonna obviously be he has that championship DNA. He can help him out with the defense
Yeah.
and all that.
Yeah. Mhm.
But I
But
think the
he
the major reason why we know that the Bulls
2
like
and
aren't the
2 and 20 against playoff teams. That is
2 and
just
20 versus
so
playoff
bad.
teams
That is
is
just terrible.
that is
It's
abysmal.
yeah.
Like that's
Lower win
lower.
percentage than the worst team of all time.
Yeah.
2011 Charlotte Bobcats, who went 759. That's just crazy.
How is that? How is that? They were a one seed at one time.
They were the best team. They were the best team in the league at one point, right?
They were no, they were the one seed in the East.
And one of the best teams in the league.
I don't.
And now
Yeah, they were obviously a top three team in the league at one point.
yeah, yeah.
But that's insane. Like, how are you gonna win a playoff series if you're 2 and 20? That's yeah. I think the Bucks should.
They're kind of a
Uh,
Mickey Mouse team. Let's be real.
but I mean, you can't say that. They've given us so many good moments this year. DeRozan's.
Exactly. With DeRozan's 2 game winners.
I think the one like on the Pacers, the step through the one leg
Yeah,
three for the win.
Yeah, the one in the corner was pretty insane too.
That's back-to-back nights.
I know. That was
not even like back-to-back games. It's crazy. But yeah, I mean, good story. Glad the Bulls are back in the playoffs because
yeah, me too. It's good
Bulls
to see
basketball is always fun to see.
I feel like they're gonna get bounced out the first round.
Yeah, Bucks is a tough draw. Okay, let's go to the Sixers Raptors.
This 4-5 series, Sixers Raptors. I got the Sixers winning 4-2. How about you?
I think Sixers in 7, but I think it's closer than people think. I think Raptors have a legit chance to win. Like
the issue with the Sixers, they have lots of firepower with Embiid, Harden, and Maxey, but they got no depth at all.
Who is there? Who else is gonna score for them? Right?
I don't know. Is Korkmaz still on the team?
Yeah, but he'll give you like 6 or 7.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
You have you have Niang, Georges Niang. Dude's a sniper.
Yeah.
He could go off. Who else? No one really. They have Thibault, who's out for the road games
because of his COVID thing, his vaccination.
Yeah.
Or non-vaccination.
It's unfortunate.
It'll be interesting to see how James Harden will be in these playoffs since he's been kind of slumping and underperforming with Philly. Philly, I think for Toronto.
I think for Toronto, like they have so much talent. Like no one expected them to make the playoffs. I think they were probably expected to be a lottery team. They draft Scotty Barnes, who's rookie of the year candidate, top 2, top 3. They have 6 or 7, like 6, 8, 9 guys, 6, 10 guys.
Yeah.
Like just imagine you throw like 4 of them at Embiid. What is he gonna do? 3 of them at Embiid. He's just gonna have to pass out. And who do you trust on the Sixers to score for you? Like the Raptors, they're probably the best matchup for the Sixers.
They have Van Vliet, Siakam, Gary Trent Jr. What an addition for Toronto.
I know he leads the team. It was a perfect fit. The perfect fit.
And he leads the team in steals with almost 2 steals per game, and he's also averaging 18.3 points.
You got OG, who no one talks about.
OG Anunoby. Then we got, as you said, Scotty Barnes. In his rookie year, his first career playoffs would be interesting. Nick Nurse as their coach. He's like a genius of a coach. So,
championship coach.
They got Van Vliet, Siakam, 2 championship players.
You got 3 of the championship players. OG,
Anunoby. Yeah.
I mean, this is it's as 4 or 5 of a matchup. But also,
it's Philly. They have Embiid and Harden. Like you can't count Harden out. You can't count Embiid out. Yeah.
But can you? I mean, what we've seen from Harden in the past, it's not good in the playoffs
though.
He's had multiple 2 for 13 games, 3 for 11. Like he doesn't show up.
Harden though, you can't count him out. I don't know. It's hard.
Well, I don't know. He's got to put it all on the line. Everything is on the line.
He's got to give it his all.
His entire playoff legacy, whatever. If he wants to go down as a top 25 player of all time,
he's got to give it his all. Right, playoffs. He's got to go off.
Yeah, it's all for him.
Yeah,
but it's a 50-50. It should be interesting. We'll see.
It'll definitely be interesting.
If I had to give the edge, though, it'd be the Sixers. Just because
they're the Sixers, they got Embiid and Harden. Okay.
All right, I'm gonna go. We went through all of them. I'm gonna go rapid fire questions for you for the first round. Okay. Team under the most pressure in the playoffs.
I'd say the Brooklyn Nets because they're the Nets. Like there's such high although they're the 7th seed, there's just such high expectations for them. They had a lot of pressure last year as well, Yeah. How about you?
I got Utah. I think we talked about it earlier. Utah, everything is on the line for them here. Like a first round exit, it means you have an unhappy young star. You have Gobert, which what the heck do you do with a $200 million Gobert contract? Like who takes on that contract? I don't know. Basically your whole franchise is looming, just hanging by a thread right now. And you're going up against a hobbled Mavericks team with
if you lose,
I mean, it's one thing to lose with Luka, right? Because you're obviously
if you lose without him,
if you lose without him, like even if you lose one out of
that's
two,
a terrible look.
it's a terrible look. It's indication that time's up, right? They've won one playoff series since Donovan Mitchell was drafted. Two playoff series since Donovan Mitchell was drafted. They won the first one against the Thunder with Russ and PG, and then they won against Memphis. But that's like, come on, they've been pretty much building to be a championship team since Donovan Mitchell got drafted. So this is it. It's balls to the walls for them here.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. Player under the most pressure.
I'd say for me, Chris Paul, because he has.
That's an interesting one.
I kind of said this earlier. He's never won a ring before.
Yeah.
And as he's getting older and older, he's getting less and less chances to actually win a ring. Mm-hmm. And so this could be like one of his last chances. He's like, what, 35, 36?
Yeah.
36. Yeah. This could be like one of his last chances to ever do this. So there's a lot of pressure on him. Especially as them being the 1 seed, they're favored to win it all. So there's just he needs to win a ring to like even more solidify his career. And there's just a lot of pressure on him. How about you?
I can't disagree with that. Chris Paul, like he basically the only thing left on his resume to complete is NBA champion. It's just NBA champion. Once you check that box, boom, you can put him in as a top 20 player, top 25 player of all time. It's
exactly. Yeah.
That's the same thing. It's the same thing with who I was going to say, James Harden.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
You just check the NBA champion box, right? Once you get a ring, like it validates your whole career, right? You just have to prove that you can win in the playoffs, because Harden's been dropping 35 a game in the regular season his whole career, or 30 a game, 35 once.
No, he has to do it. He has to show up in the playoffs and win.
Especially especially with what he's done the last 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Forced his way out of Houston, forced his way out of the Nets after requesting to go there.
Is like underwhelming it so far in the regular season with the Sixers. He needs to.
Yeah. It's just you put 2 franchises through a lot, and you got to make it worth it now. Like there's no excuses.
Exactly.
Just you got to finally do something in the playoffs. Okay, most exciting first round series.
I don't think you agree with this, but I'd say Grizzlies versus Timberwolves, just because of like
I don't know how.
I don't know. For me, I don't know. Just after that play-in game with the Clippers for the Timberwolves, after all that Patrick Beverley stuff, I just think I think the Timberwolves are such an exciting team, and it's just going to be an interesting match. Obviously, the Grizzlies are an exciting team with Ja Morant. It's just going to be a really interesting matchup between the two, as they're both really young. I think it's going to be a really good series and super entertaining because of both of the teams being super exciting, with Edwards, Beverly, Ja Morant.
It's definitely gonna be chippy.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be entertaining with all the chippiness, all the trash talk.
Potential for most competitive.
There's gonna be
definitely.
Yeah, it's gonna be super competitive, which is why it would be super entertaining.
Yeah,
lots of trash talk, lots of chippiness, lots of physicalness.
I could see that. Yeah. For me, I think Nets Celtics. I think
I can agree.
You have it's just 2v2, right? The like 4 top shot creators in the league. Like I would say 2 of the top 4 best teams in the East right now, right? Going in the first round, right? This is basically, we couldn't have asked for a better first round series in the East. Just seeing KD go out Jason Tatum. I think the last time they played, or one of the last times, it was Tatum who dropped, I want something 52 or something, and KD dropped 43. They're just 2 of the top 5 shot makers in the league going at it. I think it's going to be probably one of the closer series. I think it could go 6 or 7. And they're just 2 of the most exciting teams. And obviously the Kyrie and Boston background as well, that adds to it.
For sure. Yeah.
And we get some more Robin on Kyrie. It's just you can't, it's just scripted. It's perfect. Like you can't ask for a better series.
Yeah, I definitely cannot disagree with that.
Let's go most boring first round series.
I I would have to say Suns Pelicans. Just because I feel like it's just going to be either 4-0, 4-1, just very one-sided series.
Yeah.
Nothing else really to say.
I think Suns Pelicans. I could argue Grizzlies Timberwolves, but I'll save you.
No,
I'll let you have
no,
your
your shot. No one thinks that. Literally, everyone thinks it's going to be super.
It's okay. I'll die on that hill, but it's fine. I'm hoping it's a good series. I'm hoping
all these series are going to be good series.
Yeah, well, definitely. I mean, it's playoff basketball, so can't go wrong with it. Okay, most valuable player to their team in the first round. Who do you think is going to have the biggest impact on whether they win or lose?
Either Trae Young or Nikola Jokic. So for Trae Young, obviously, like I said before, without him, Atlanta is nothing. Trae Young is like one of the best players in the league. He runs the team, he runs the offense. And so does Nikola Jokic. Like without him, Denver is just like I don't know what they do. He runs everything in the offense. He's crucial on defense as well. Without Young or Jokic, both of these teams I'd say they'd be not even in the playoffs, not even close. So
yeah, maybe not even in the play-in, but
yeah, not even close. Yeah, the bottom like 12. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's Luka, right? I think we talked about it earlier.
Well, you said earlier that the Mavericks could win without him against the Jazz.
They could win, but I would say that's solely because I don't trust the Jazz. I don't trust them. They could lose. I feel like the Jazz, if they were playing the Pistons in the first round, there's a chance they lose one of the first two games just because
they're not that bad.
But just because they could implode. By the way, the Pistons they won some pretty close
they beat good teams. Yeah,
they beat good teams. Don't underrate the Pistons.
Yeah,
Cade's balling right now.
Yeah,
but I don't. But I'm saying in terms of like the Mavs, like their success, like if they go like the only way they go deep or even past the first round is if Luka carries them, because without them, like they have the potential to win a game or two, but like they're not going that far. Like I don't think they're making out of the first round. If Luka is not healthy, they're not making out the first round. But if he's not playing up to the standards that we've seen in the second half of the season, then they'll struggle to make it out the first round. But if he's on his A game and he's hitting on all cylinders, dropping 40-point triple doubles left and right, they could be scary for the Suns even if they make it out the first round. So they're definitely one of the more exciting teams. Can't wait. All right, let's wrap it up. I think
let's wrap it up.
We covered everything. So thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you guys after the first day, first round of games.
Yeah.
The first round of games. We'll catch you after the game ones are over. Sort of recap those.
Tune in for our next episode on Monday. Super excited to drop that one.
Yeah. All right. We'll catch you guys later. All right. See you guys.
See you guys.
Bye.